26 on Twitter to keep informed with the latest happening near you.
On your side, this is News 12 at 5:30.
A black man claims a group of white men threatened to string him to a tree. Now the video and the investigation are getting a lot of attention. But first, heavy rain all around the area today. This is in Lincoln County, where rain there actually blocked about half a dozen roads at one point. People even reporting flooded yards. In Edgefield County, they actually had to rescue people. The flooding was just so bad.
Some people's homes were actually moved because of the water. Sydney Heiberger takes us there.
Well, right now I'm on Broken Arrow Court. That's right off Sweetwater Road. Two houses at the end of this neighborhood have been completely knocked off their foundation. I'm going to show you the first one there. Neighbors here and the homeowner told me this house has been completely rotated. That part of the house that you're seeing closest to you actually was at one point further away from you. This whole house was picked up off its foundation, completely moved, as well as, I'm told, trailers, a lawnmower. They were having work done on their house, and you can just see how fast this water is moving. Normally the creek runs behind this house, and they said they've been living here for years. Neighbors tell me 21 years, and they have never seen the water this high. Of course, normally none of this is underwater, and today boats and jet skis were out here rescuing the people from this house. This man's mother, an 80-year-old woman, I'm told, lives in this house back here. They tried to rescue her with a jet ski, and the water is moving so fast out here that the jet ski flipped over, and then I'm told DNR had to come out here and rescue her with a boat. But serious flooding over here. You can see this fence, water almost to the top of the fence, and it is fast moving. If you see any of this water near your neighborhood, definitely do not go near it. I mean, these are fast-moving waters and very dangerous. Crews are out here to make sure that the area around this is safe. And, of course, we're going to be out here for a little while, too, monitoring the situation.
Thanks, Sydney. Shocking video there to see. Definitely not a time to be out on the roads. But if you are, take serious precaution because more rain is on the way.
Exactly right, Zaina. That is the number one thing we always tell people. Whenever you encounter a flooded roadway, turn around, do not drown. This is the hidden danger that lies underneath those floodwaters. This is Mill Creek Drive in Edgefield County, and you can see this road got completely washed out. But the video they sent along with this picture, as those floodwaters were cresting over the road, you could not even tell that it was washed out. So if you were just a car seeing that, wanted to plow through real quick, you would have ended up in that. So that's why we always say, turn around.
The Major League Soccer team in Dallas has now withdrawn from a tournament that's set to start tomorrow. The club has 10 of the MLS's 13 confirmed COVID cases among players. The league's commissioner said it is in everyone's best interest to pull out. A Dallas coach also tested positive. The government is now confirming something.
This is a live look at an accident on Martin Road. It appears that 3 vehicles are involved in this accident at Sportsman Corner. You can see a tractor trailer flipped over across Martin Road. We are waiting to hear from troopers. If you're heading home, please avoid this area.
All right, so what?
Heart Association for details.
On your side, this is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
People trapped in their own homes getting rescued by boat right here in our area. We'll take you to where the flooding is the worst. Plus, what is back to school going to look like? Probably not like this, but some school leaders are deciding right now. And a new way for officers to learn what to do in tricky situations. We give you a first look at this new shooting simulator. But first tonight, a live look over on Martintown Road where a tractor trailer has flipped onto its side. We're told 3 cars are involved in this accident at Sportsman Corner. You can see the flip truck is completely blocking off Martintown Road. We're waiting to hear from troopers there. If you're headed out soon, you should avoid this area. Back to our top story in Edgefield, where you saw flooding causing people to even be rescued from their own homes. And it's also caused this, a road completely eroded. This is Mill Creek Drive in Edgefield, and that's just one spot. Sydney Heiberger shows us just how bad it got in that area.
Well, right now I'm at Broken Arrow Court. That's right off of Sweetwater Road in Edgefield. Two houses here have been completely knocked off of their foundation, as you can see behind me. And neighbors here say they've never seen anything like this.
We've been out here 21 years.
We found Chris Franco soaked head to toe.
I mean, I got a chance to eat. Before I said, that's enough. Turned around.
His two neighbors had to be rescued from their houses, completely taken off their foundations and moved by the floodwater.
Miss Kathy's mama, she's 80 plus years old, and then this couple right here, they're both in their late 50s.
Originally, rescuers tried to use a jet ski to rescue one of the residents, but the fast current flipped it right over. So officials drove boats straight to the front doors.
We have at least 2 other homes that we know of that have been affected that Meriwether Fire Department had to evacuate the residents from.
Susie Spurgeon is the director of Edgefield Emergency Management and says it's safe to say they've had a busy day.
And that's causing flooding, homes to be knocked off the foundation, drainage pipes to be torn out of the road.
She says too much water dumped at one time caused this major flooding. Now, the damage is done, and the county says they're just trying to pick up the pieces.
The game plan is we have crews going out assessing the different roads that we know of. I'm going out working with the families, getting the help that they can until their insurance kicks in.
We've been checking on some of the neighbors around here, and so far it seems like everyone is okay. Nobody here was hurt, and the homeowners even told me they do have flood insurance. Reporting in Edgefield, Sydney Heiberger on your side.
And not far away in Edgefield County, these are pictures from a viewer off Moore Road. Edgefield EMA says right now they know that at least one road has been completely washed out. They say a few others are still underwater, so they'll have to be assessed once things clear up. And flooding happening on the Georgia side too. This is a home in South Augusta on Wimberley Drive, just off Peach Orchard Road. You can see almost the entire yard flooded. No injuries. It seems people are safe, but those waters just keep rising. And unfortunately, Riley, you don't have the greatest news tonight. More rain coming our way.
Unfortunately so, Sierra. We do have more rain in the forecast through this evening, but luckily after midnight, our flash flood risk should go down substantially for the rest of the week. Here's a look at our almanac today. We actually set a new daily rainfall record here in Augusta at Bush Field. This 4.43-inch total beat the old record set all the way back in 1896. Going back to this picture of Mill Creek Drive in Edgefield County, as it is washed out, the video they sent of this before this picture, the water was cresting over the roadway and you could not even see it was washed out. So that's why we always say whenever you encounter a flooded roadway, turn around, don't drown. You do not know what's underneath those floodwaters. Luckily, the worst hit areas today, Lincoln County, Edgefield County, Aiken, Columbia, Richmond. We are seeing a lull in the action right now, which is good. Most of the showers we're currently tracking are south of I-20 through places like Glasscock County, Jefferson, Burke, Screven, and they're fairly scattered right now. But as we head towards this evening, up until around midnight, we'll still have the chance for more downpours. Weather Prediction Center continue to place us underneath the slight risk through this evening. We'll have much more coming up in the full forecast.
That constant rain has also led to roads being flooded in Lincoln County. Another area hit hard. Around half a dozen roads were washed out, including the Augusta Highway, which is what Washington Road turns into once it hits Lincoln County. Kennedy Harris went out to Lincoln County today and shows us some of the worst spots.
Heavy rainfall in Lincoln County today left many roads impassable, but it didn't flood just roads. It even flooded some people's yards.
A sudden rainstorm closed down much of Lincoln County today.
And we're flooded, just totally flooded. I mean, it came down so fast.
Mary Thetford walked outside her home this morning to do yard work, and she saw something she's never seen before.
And then I happened to see a man standing down the road with an orange vest on, and I came up and looked, and the bridge was not there. There was just water rushing across.
Thetford has lived off Highway 220 for nearly 10 years. She says she's never seen flooding like this.
They couldn't even drive a truck over it. It was so deep. and the water was rushing.
That wasn't the only road water was rushing over this morning. Officials say almost half a dozen roads across the county had to be closed because of flooding.
Mother Nature is very, very mysterious.
Thetford didn't have anything damaged, but her neighbor wasn't so lucky.
My neighbor, she's lost her garden. She's lost everything over there in her yard. I mean, it was about 3 feet from her husband's black truck. And they're on a hill.
County workers were able to get to the roads quickly and close them down. Within a few hours, most roads were clear. Thetford is just thankful not too much damage was done.
It's a beautiful day other than her losing her garden.
Kennedy Harris.
At least I didn't lose my driveway.
On your side.
Happening right now, school leaders in Aiken County are deciding what back to school could look like. This is a live look inside the meeting happening at the board office right now. The district assigned a task force last month to figure out what would work best. Celeste Springer talked to leaders ahead of that meeting tonight.
The plan being presented tonight was developed by the Aiken County Schools Back to School Task Force. That task force is composed of 39 different people. They include counselors, teachers, principals, department leaders, and transportation and food services, to name a few. Teachers make up a quarter of the task force. The group has been closely following Accelerate Ed's discussions along with public health recommendations. The state released close to 100 pages of recommendations back on June 22nd. Dr. Phyllis Gamble, who is leading the district's task force, said when they saw the recommendations, the task force was relieved, saying they are on the right track with planning. Parents and guardians had a say in the recommendations we'll hear tonight. The districts say a third of parents gave feedback through a survey. In it, the highest priorities appear to be the health of students and the cleaning process. The task force says those will be heavily reflected in the recommendations. District Superintendent King Lawrence says the possibility of students returning back to a traditional school schedule right away is very unlikely. We'll have everything parents need to know coming up at 11 o'clock.
Back to school plans have already been decided in Richmond and Columbia counties. For both, parents were given the option to either send their kids back to school or have them learn from home. In Richmond County, back to school means a hybrid schedule. Traditional learning Monday through Thursday with virtual learning on Friday. If you want to choose all virtual, you have to register online by July 20th. In Columbia County, the deadline for parents to sign up for virtual learning was last week. It is the district's hope students will return for traditional learning. We have all the back to school plans on Wrdw.com. We're learning a worker at the Savannah River nuclear site has died from COVID. The site had 70 workers test positive. We're told 25 cases are still active. Cases still rising at our local hospitals. 32 new cases at AU Health. 34 COVID patients are in the hospital. At University, 31 new cases. Now 51 people in the hospital there. Doctors Hospital has now had 100 cases. They have 15 COVID patients in the hospital. 3 more cases at the Charlie Norwood VA as Aiken Regional stands at almost 150. And cases still rising across both. And another surge we're seeing is at a nursing home in Columbia County. Laura Puglisi shows us the staggering numbers there and at some of our hardest hit nursing homes.
Inside nursing homes across our area, outbreaks among patients and staff members is rising. Among the worst, Lake Crossing and Appling. In the last week alone, data released by the Georgia Department of Community Health shows out of 75 residents, 33 have tested positive for the virus. We compare data to last week showing a major spike in deaths and the number of staff members with the virus. Last week, 1 person had died from the virus. Days later, 5 more deaths with a total of 6 this week. 25 more staff members have also contracted the virus, reaching 33 positives this week. A spokesperson for Lake Crossing says they've been in close contact with families, and their main concern is the health and safety of residents and employees. They say staff members who test positive are sent home, but in the event of a staff shortage, asymptomatic employees will work with COVID-positive residents who are separated from negative residents. According to the government, the facility is classified as below average. We dug into that data showing a staffing rating of much below average. There was only 9 minutes of care by registered nurses per patient. That compares to 25 minutes as the Georgia average and 41 minutes for the national average. Lake Crossing isn't the only nursing home seeing a spike. Georgia War seeing 2 additional deaths in the span of a week and 14 more staff cases. Data shows 36 residents testing positive this week with 56 recoveries. Laura Puglisi, on your side.
In a statement, Lake Crossing Health Center officials said since March 12th, we have restricted visitors from entering our facility, canceled all group activities and communal dining within the building while remaining focused on ensuring good infection prevention practices. Amid these challenging times, we remain committed to working alongside and providing transparent information. A local deputy arrested and fired after touching himself inappropriately at a public gym. Former Richmond County Deputy Lamar Andrews was arrested yesterday at the Gold's Gym off Bobby Jones. A staff member of the gym called police after they caught him touching himself at the gym sauna. He's now charged with public indecency. Andrews worked with the sheriff's office since October of 2018. Deputies now say they know who this woman is after she's caught here on video abandoning a dog by a dumpster in this heartbreaking video. This happened in Screven County around 3 Sunday afternoon. The dog has been saved and is getting proper care. The woman was scheduled to meet with an animal control officer today at 1, then got booked into jail and have her bond set. We're working to found out if she will make bail. Riley.
Well, we have seen a number of flash flood reports across the CSRA. This is from the Stratford subdivision in Columbia County. A couple of cars stalled out in some flood waters. We'll see that if that flash flood threat sticks around tomorrow. Coming up.
As COVID cases rise, so do cases inside prisons. We'll show you changes they've had to make to keep the spread from getting worse. And a new way to train officers. We'll show you this shooting simulator teaching local deputies coming up in 60 seconds.
On your sideline, sports brought to you by the Hawk Law Group.
This past season, Saluda won their first state championship since 1963. After being down for so long, the Tigers are finally the Alpha Cats and thought they'd have the chance to defend their state title. But with each passing day, the thought of not having a South Carolina high school football season comes ever closer. The Tigers got off to a late start with summer workouts, only beginning on June 22nd. They weren't working out for long, with Coach Stuart Young only having a few weeks, about a week and a half with his team before workouts were suspended out of an abundance of caution. It's a waiting game as the Tigers hope they'll get back to hunting their prey soon.
What I'm really worried about is we tell our kids we're going to go, and then about a week or two into the season, they stop us, and we kind of already had that happen with our summer workouts. We went for a week and a half, and then boom, our district said, no, we can't do it anymore.
After a 56-year drought, the Tigers want the chance to defend their title. You can't take away the win a season ago, but the fact is, we don't know what this season could look like if there is one. The idea of a state championship right now is still so far down the line, especially in South Carolina. Should the Tigers get themselves in a position to win it again, they don't believe there should be any kind of asterisk on this season.
I don't want to stop here. I want to continue to build the program, to every year in and out. That's what sucks about this whole virus. It just kind of stalled the momentum, but I guess everybody's in the same boat, so, there's no excuses. It's just, it is what it is.
Around high school football in South Carolina, but Riley, maybe even more frustration with the weather for the rest of today and even the rest of the week.
I'm telling you, Mike, it has been a very busy day out there, especially for Doppler Max radar. We could have our next flood advisory in effect between Midville and Millen here within the next hour or so. One last look at your 7-day forecast just after the break.